Seems no conservative in D.C., including elected officials, are safe from big tech censorship. The latest victim is newly elected Georgia Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. Twitter suspended Greene's account Sunday after she criticized Gabriel Sterling, COO for Georgia's Secretary of State. She tweeted that Sterling and other state leaders failed to address numerous allegations of fraud that occurred in November's election and Georgia's twin runoffs. But after a 12-hour ban from the platform, Representative Greene is back. She wasted no time calling out the hypocritical big tech giant, accusing them of having a God complex. Well, that's for sure. She joins us now to discuss how she plans on fighting back against the silencing of conservatives and more, now that the Republicans are about to be in the minority across government. A lot to discuss here. Congresswoman, let's start with this. The tweets that got you suspended, and you're now a sitting member of Congress. You tweeted that the 1/5 disaster in Georgia, or 1 for 5 disaster in Georgia, lays solely in the hands of state leadership who failed voters in our state. Georgia Secretary of State Gabriel Sterling were begged by Republicans to fix our elections. They did nothing. They are to blame, not Donald Trump, not Collins for Georgia. And then morons like you are responsible for losing Georgia's second Republican Senate seat. This was to Gabriel Sterling. You ran a November 3rd election that was stolen because you idiots at the SOS mailed out millions of absentee ballots. What exactly did you do here that got the Twitter gods upset at you?
I don't really know, because it's pretty interesting. If you look at Little Gabe's tweet, his original tweet that I retweeted, he was put up a chart, and then he put out a false claim that President Trump, myself, and former Representative Doug Collins are to blame for losing the 2 Republican Senate seats. So when I charged back at him and told him my opinion, which, by the way, is the opinion of most Georgia Republican voters that I talked to, and I talked to a lot of them who agree with me, when I put my opinion back out and put the onus on him because he ran Georgia's election, somehow I got banned for 12 hours on Twitter. So I really don't know what to say. He can put out his false election claim, but I can't put out the reason why I think we lost our 2 Republican Senate seats without violence. So,
as a native Georgian and a member of Congress, can you just give us the short and sweet version of why did we lose those 2 Senate seats? Because a lot of people, myself included, were thinking that that's where we would finally at least get one victory. What happened?
I'll tell you what happened. Georgia, Gabriel Sterling, who was a paid contractor by the Secretary of State, he got paid $200,000 to do this job, run Georgia's elections. And I don't know why Brad Raffensperger, our Secretary of State, is missing in action. He seemed to do nothing. But Gabriel Sterling, Little Gabe, ran the election, and they mailed out request forms, 6.9 million of them during the primary. And people were allowed to request an absentee ballot for the general as well. So lots more absentee ballots got mailed out, and then they encouraged everyone to request one. Even though we were an open state, you could grocery shop, you can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, you can go to restaurants, you can go to work, and kids could go to school. But on November 3rd, they decided that absentee ballot voting was the way to go for Georgia. And then they also used Dominion machines, which everyone has cried foul and said these can be hacked. These can be a problem. Even Democrat senators like Amy Klobuchar in 2019 put out a statement and their concerns about these type of voting machines, and they named Dominion in their statement in 2019. So it's not a partisan issue. But you know what happened? Voters in Georgia, Republican voters, felt like the president's race was stolen. Hundreds of people signed affidavits at risk of perjuring themselves in a court of law, saying that they saw voter fraud. They screamed foul, they rallied, they protested, they begged and pleaded with state leaders, and our state leaders did nothing. Gabriel Sterling did nothing. The Secretary of State did nothing. The House and the state senators refused to convene. Nothing happened in Georgia. And then they told everybody to go back out and vote in the same election on January 5th to save our 2 Republican Senate seats.
Congressman, can I ask you, what do you think about Sidney Powell pulling her lawsuit today involving the state of Georgia and Dominion voting machines? Did she just decide, well, what do you think? Do you have any idea why she did that?
I really don't know. I haven't spoken to her, so I'm sorry. I'm not familiar enough with why she pulled it. I think if Dominion basically can satisfy the taxpayers. Taxpayers paid for those machines. They bought them with taxpayer dollars. And I think Dominion owes their customers who are taxpayers a forensic audit, and then just show the truth. And then no one would complain. There wouldn't have to be lawsuits. And if the election was fair and Democrats won, Democrats could be thrilled and be happy, and Republicans could be satisfied with the truth.
Well,
so
as you know, Joe Biden is going to be sworn in tomorrow as president, and there's a lot of militarization that's gone on in Washington, D.C. Almost 30,000 National Guard troops are expected to be deployed as of tomorrow there. A lot of imagery. I mean, I've been to Baghdad during the war. I know what militarization looks like, and it is reminiscent of that in some parts of D.C. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think, as somebody who's now also sworn an oath to the country as a member of Congress, when you hear your fellow members of Congress saying that there needs to be vetting of these National Guardsmen for right-wing Trump sympathies? I suppose it's not even really clear. It's just that they want them to be vetted because they can't be trusted all of a sudden. What is that?
I think it's a complete insult and a slap in the face to the brave men and women who serve in the military. I think it's insulting, and I'm appalled at it. You know, and the honest truth is, these Democrats that are begging and thrilled to have all this military encampment around the Capitol are the same Democrats that cheered on the riots and the violence that went on this entire year with Antifa and radical Marxist BLM. But when the terrible attack happens on the Capitol, these same Democrats are the first ones that want a military encampment with a wall, by the way, around the Capitol. They don't care about regular Americans being attacked all year long. They didn't want to send in the National Guard to save regular Americans whose businesses were being burned and looted, and innocent people were being attacked. But they're thrilled to have a gigantic military fortress around the Capitol, and then they want to insult military members based on what their political views may be. I think this is a huge warning to all of our country and every American. I don't care who you vote for, that the Democrats in charge, they care about their opinion and the way they want to do things, and that's it. They don't care about you. They don't care about who works and pays taxes, and they do not care about respecting our military.
Before we let you go, Congresswoman, I just want to ask you, we've only got about a minute. On January 21st, you tweeted out you're filing articles of impeachment against Joe Biden. Just tell us based on what, and what are you hoping to accomplish with these articles?
Well, I'll tell you exactly. Republican voters across the entire country are fed up with Republicans in Congress that won't do anything about all of this corruption and abuse of power. Joe Biden is guilty of abusing power. When he was vice president of the United States, he was willing to withhold $1 billion in foreign aid just to get his way with a prosecutor that was going after his son, Hunter Biden. This is all on videotape. The evidence is all there, and it's very clear. We can't have a man serving as president of the United States that's willing to do anything and everything for his son and his son's business dealings with foreign countries and foreign energy companies. And so this is a danger to America. It's a danger to all Americans. And I have no problem, whether we're in the minority or not, going after Joe Biden or anyone else that is willing to use power and corruption just to get rich. And this is something that every single American should be appalled with. Nancy Pelosi lowered the bar of impeachment to the basement. So this one is clear and easy for me, and I am proud to introduce articles of impeachment on Joe Biden.
Congresswoman Green, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Hey, Team Buck, just want to say thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more great content from The First, please click that subscribe button.